My name is Tom Hunt. I'm a biologist, survivalist, and all-round adventurer. I've always been fascinated by the limits of human capabilities.
I don't know what's going on. This doesn't make sense.
What people can achieve when they break from convention. So I'm setting out on a mission to find incredible people who claim to possess unique abilities. Powers that push the known limits of the mind.
When you just see it happen in front of you, it's incredible.
And body. And defy the laws of conventional science. I'll get an insight into their worlds and witness their abilities firsthand.
That's as far in as your ear. That's the middle of your skull.
I'll use my own scientific knowledge and call in experts to discover what lies behind their skills.
It was so incredible to watch.
I want to find out just what it takes to become an extraordinary human. On this leg of my journey, I've come to Bangkok, a city home to 14 million people. But I'm on the trail of two humans who may possess truly extraordinary abilities. The first man I tracked down is a street performer with a very unusual skill. He claims to have superhuman tear ducts and can shoot liquid further than the deadly spitting cobra. Then I seek out a chef who claims to have heat-proof hands, plunging them deep into boiling oil without feeling any pain. I'm going to find out if these are just street performer tricks.
No wonder they call him Iron Hands.
Or are they truly extraordinary humans?
I'm here in Bangkok, Thailand's busiest and probably most weird and wonderful city. And I'm here to meet a guy called Ruan Ting, who has the most incredible ability to squirt water out of his eyes with amazing accuracy.
Ruan Ting calls himself Snake Eyes and claims the jet of water he can fire from his eyes is more powerful than any snake on Earth. What he claims to do sounds anatomically impossible. He's currently here in Bangkok, so I'm hitting the streets to try and find him. I've heard he's performing in the central Lumpini Park. And when I arrive, Ruan Ting is in full flow. It really does look like he's shooting water from his eyes. But I have no idea how that can be physically possible. If this is real, it's certainly very strange. But from here, I can't really see where the water's coming from. I need to get closer to find out how he's doing this.
Wow. I've seen some street performers in my time, but I've not seen anything like that before. What does this say?
It's my name.
Ruan Ting.
Ah, it's your name, okay. That's very accurate. Can you draw anything? Would you be able to do my name in English?
Yeah, sure I can.
Excellent, okay.
To find out if Ruan Ting really does possess an extraordinary ability, I want to watch the entire process from the very start.
Tom. Excellent.
He tells me he begins by sucking water up into his nose. Ruan Ting holds his nose to keep the water in. Then, like a snake, he somehow fires the water out of the tear duct in the corner of his eye. But unlike a snake, Ruan Ting is able to create a constant stream. As a biologist, I've no idea how this is possible. But I definitely want to find out.
Thank you very much. Wow, for someone that doesn't speak or write English, that's very, very impressive. What an incredibly unique skill to have.
谢谢谢谢谢谢。
That was one of the weirdest abilities I've ever witnessed. But how did he discover he could do this?
这个呢，说起来话有点长。
When I was little, about 12 years old, I was swimming in the river. At that time, I liked to dive a lot. And one time, I dove into the river and choked on some water. It felt really painful, so I tried to squeeze the water out by pinching my nose. And accidentally, I found out that I could shoot water from my eyes.
鼻子特别难受。
Ruan Ting has practiced this natural-born ability and can now fire the water even further than a cobra spits its venom, and with greater accuracy. He takes me off to a nearby cafe where he says he's going to prove it.
Ruan Ting, I am incredibly fascinated to find out more about this intriguing skill that you've got. Most people would obviously know what it's like to cry out of the tear ducts, but what does it actually feel like to spray water out of your eyes?
这个问题啊。
When I first started spraying liquid from my eyes, I didn't feel any pain actually in my eyes, but I did from my nose, because it was like I just choked on some water. It feels uncomfortable, but after so many years doing shows, I don't feel so much pain.
没那么感觉了。
Is it just one eye, or can you do both at the same time?
这个问题。
In the very beginning, I could only spray water from one eye, but after a few years, because I was training myself a lot to do it for a job, I'm now able to spray liquid from both eyes.
From both? Wow, okay.
When I saw Ruan Ting perform in the park, he was able to write his name and mine using water fired from his eyes. He claims to have pinpoint accuracy, but I wonder just how far he can push this skill.
Do you do different tricks, different liquids?
应该可以做的。
Yes, I do lots of tricks.
牛奶、
I can spray different types of liquid, like milk, water, coffee, and soy sauce.
Have you learnt to be very accurate over the years? Like, how accurate can you be?
这个嘛，应该是。
I can be very accurate. You see your coffee cup there? I'd be able to spray milk into your coffee cup.
通过眼睛喷射的方法喷到里面去。
So, as if a human firing water out of their eyes wasn't weird enough, he now wants to attempt to do it with milk. I've got to see this. Firing the milk will surely be much harder than the water, but Ruan Ting seems keen to show off this unique ability, so I wonder how far can I push him?
Would you be able to do the milk from sort of here?
A little closer.
Hello.
That's good.
I'm going to move out the way because I'm a little bit dubious that this isn't going to go everywhere. So, go for it.
He sucks in the milk through his nose. And somehow he manages to squeeze the milk through his tear ducts and hits the target. I can't get over how unique this ability is. Ruan Ting's snake eyes have done exactly what he claimed, proving he has cobra-like accuracy and power. But a snake can only fire a tiny amount of venom. Ruan Ting is doing much, much more.
How much can you do in volume?
一次大概能喷那个
For each spray, I can spray 50 milliliters.
4两。
That's the same as 2 shot glasses of liquid. Despite watching it at close range, I just can't work out how he's able to do this. It shouldn't be physically possible for a human to squirt water out of their eyes, let alone milk. This is certainly an incredibly strange skill.
Let me tell you, you don't get used to seeing that.
I now want to investigate the science behind Ruan Ting's ability. He says he also wants to attempt to beat his own record firing a continuous jet from his eye for over 30 seconds. On my quest to find extraordinary humans, I'm always keen to explore how their unusual abilities have developed. And what Ruan Ting has done with his accidental discovery certainly makes an interesting case. After discovering this strange ability as a child, he never realized its potential until his life took an unexpected twist.
这个我有意练习，是我从00
I didn't think of turning my trick into a career until the year 2000, when I was laid off from the factory I worked for.
多岁，将近50岁的人了，到外边干体力。
Because I was almost 50 years old, I couldn't do the labor-intensive jobs. So I thought I should train myself to do a stunt I could make a living from. And I thought of my eyes and shooting water.
Since then, Ruan Ting has traveled all around the world to perform his trick.
我有2项记录，一个就是眼睛。
I now hold 2 world records. The first record is spraying milk out from my eye to put out 5 candles in under 17
灭掉了
seconds.
5支蜡烛。
The second record is for the longest distance of spraying water from my eye. The record is 3.09 meters.
就这2个记录。
And since his changing career, Ruan Ting has searched for new ways to push his skill to its maximum potential.
这个可能出于自己。
As a person, I always think I should keep going.
作为一个人呢，
Because I always think that if I stop training myself, someone else will come along and beat my records.
What Ruan Ting does is certainly unlike anything I have ever seen. I want to find out how he's able to shoot water from his eyes. Perhaps there's an anatomical difference that enables him to do it. So we're heading across Bangkok to the eye centre at Vejthani Hospital. Eye consultant Dr. Meekwan is going to help me search for answers and starts with a routine eye examination. The doctor uses a slit lamp to get a magnified view of his eyes. This is then relayed back to a computer, enabling her to see if there's any obvious anomalies. But it already seems the answer to Ru's skill might be harder to find.
His punctum is not dilated and the size is normal.
Okay, so perfectly normal.
Yeah.
When we cry, tears produced in the lacrimal gland drain from the inner corner of our eyes through 2 tiny holes called punctum. They flow down the tear ducts, passing through 2 one-way valves on their way and into the nasal cavity. That's why you get a runny nose when you cry. It may be that Ruan Ting has found a way of reversing this flow, something that should be physically impossible in normal people. To try and work out how he does this, we're taking him into surgery for an investigative examination. First, Dr. Meekwan gives him an anesthetic. Then she's going to use a camera to look inside his nasal cavity to see if his valves are operating normally.
How does it feel, Ruan Ting?
I feel good.
Dr. Meekwan begins.
This is the opening of the lacrimal system here. Yeah.
With the camera in place, the doctor can now inject a yellow dye into his eyes. It's excruciating to watch, but if everything's normal, this should drain into the nose and appear on camera.
Ah, it's starting to come down already.
Yeah.
This tells us that Ruan Ting's system is functioning as it should.
So it's coming out in the correct way.
Yes.
Surprisingly, Ru's tear ducts are 100% normal.
Are you okay?
Yes, no problem.
But the doctor has one more test. She injects a bubble of air into his eye and explains that if the bubble doesn't move when he opens his eyes, it could indicate that he's somehow able to control the flow in the opposite direction.
You can see this bubble. The bubble is not moved when the patient.
That one, yeah.
Yeah. You open your eye again.
The doctor carries out the same tests on his other eye.
Ah, yeah, you can see all the fluid.
The bubble is not moving.
It's not moving again.
This indicates to the doctor that somehow he has found a way to control the flow of liquid through what should be one-way valves. The doctor thinks pressure might be key.
So there's so much force, there's so much pressure that he's putting through, it manages to go through 2 one-way valves the wrong way.
He can create the pressure,
Yeah.
many pressure in his nose, and the pressure can create the fluid regurgitate.
So it all comes down to a unique ability to create extreme pressure inside his own tear ducts. The doctor says that this is not something she thought was biologically possible. Ruan Ting may not have a venom sac like a snake, but by holding his nose, the pressure he creates is so great, it's enough to reverse the normal flow of liquid and force it out of his eyes. Surely this must have some sort of side effect.
I don't feel pain at all, but I do have to pinch my nose and create the force to push the water out from my eyes.
Does it hurt your ears at all?
I don't feel pain in my ears, I just feel a swelling of air.
Wow, there's an incredible amount of technique to be able to fire that distance for so long. I mean, if we've looked and anatomically, he seems no different. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, in my life career, I haven't seen this before.
Ruan Ting discovered this skill entirely by accident, but inspired by the spitting cobra, he has since pushed himself to shoot liquids further and with greater accuracy. But now he wants to try and use his unique ability to create extraordinary pressure to fire a continuous jet from his eye for longer than ever before. His current record is 25 seconds. Ruan Ting wants to try and beat it, but to do that, he's going to have to create a constant pressure for longer than he's ever done before. As Dr. Mi Kwang keeps an eye on the time, he begins to spray. The water comes out in a steady stream as he keeps up the pressure.
Still going.
His concentration is intense.
Still going. How many seconds are we up to?
19, 20, 21 seconds.
Oh,
24, 25.
wow. He's holding his breath as well.
He's already beaten his 25-second target.
Wow. This is a new record.
But he's still going.
Oh. Wow. That was a long, long time.
Incredibly, Ruan Ting has nearly doubled his previous time.
50 seconds. That is a new record. Look. Well, wow, that was absolutely incredible. Were you, towards the end, I thought you were going to pass out, like, because you're holding your breath and putting so much pressure in your head. Did you feel okay?
At the end, I did start feeling a little dizzy, but now I've won.
I mean, you've obviously perfected this over a long, long time, and there's a lot of technique, but I was not expecting you to beat your record like that as well. That was amazing. Well done.
Through training and dedication, Ruan Ting has taken an accidentally discovered ability and turned it into a super skill.
I've seen some street performers in my time, but I've not seen anything like that before.
Breaking records in the process.
Wow, 50 seconds. That is a new record.
Meeting him has been truly inspirational. It's given me a whole new understanding of what's possible.
And it just shows to me the diversity and the lengths that human beings can go to have the most incredible skills. It's just mind-blowing.
And the next man I meet is no exception. He claims to challenge everything I know about the human body. On this leg of my journey to find humans with incredible abilities, I set out to separate street performer tricks from truly extraordinary feats. I've travelled north into the heart of Thailand to track down a chef with a seriously unusual skill.
I'm in Chiang Mai, which is the cultural capital of northern Thailand. I'm at one of the busiest markets of the whole country, and I'm here trying to search out a man who I've heard calls himself Iron Hands.
This market has hundreds of food stalls, so my first challenge is to try and find his.
There's the most incredible food diversity here, and I've found someone that does fried food, chicken, pork, fish, pretty much everything. It's not the person I'm looking for.
Apparently, there's no one else who takes their deep frying expertise to such extremes.
Excuse me, do you know Iron Hands, Khan?
Kantrakhan's speciality is fried chicken and rice.
Yes.
Ah, great. But while his food is very popular, people come to see him for another reason entirely. Khan says his skin is totally immune to burning hot oil.
My name is Kantrakhan. I am Iron Hands, and I can cook chicken with my bare hands.
He claims he can do this long enough to cook human skin, but for Khan, there's no physical damage. This is a claim I have to investigate.
Khan? Iron Hands. Good to meet you.
His hands are covered in hot oil, which is already sizzling dangerously at its maximum temperature. Now, anyone that's ever cooked with hot oil knows how fierce it can be. Just a single drop will burn skin and cause severe pain.
I don't know what temperature this is at, but it is boiling oil.
Khan begins. Khan's hands are going directly into the oil.
I don't know what's going on. This doesn't make sense. That must be, I don't know how hot that is. It must be over 200 degrees.
I'm not sure I believe what I'm seeing. That oil is hot enough to cook the chicken in seconds and would cause serious burns on any normal human being. But somehow, Khan's hands are coming out unharmed.
I can feel the heat from a foot away.
I have no idea how he's able to do this, but I've got to take a closer look.
I've just seen you put your hands into boiling oil and splash it up your arms, but there's nothing wrong. I can't believe what I've just seen. Do you not feel anything at all on your hands?
I don't feel any pain. It's just normal for me to do this. I don't feel any heat either, and I don't get burned. Even up to my elbows, you can see I don't get burns.
Can you feel the warmth or the heat?
There's only a very tiny feeling of warmth, but it's not burning hot.
Okay, so you've got some feeling. It's not completely numb. You've got some feeling?
No, it's not completely numb. My arms are only a little bit numb, but not entirely.
This just sounds insane. How can anyone put their hands into boiling oil and yet claim to feel no heat or pain? The main thing I'm wondering is how he realised he could do something so extreme in the first place. Khan tells me he discovered his skill completely by accident.
Back almost 10 years ago, I used to cook with 3 big pans full of oil, and my stall didn't have a roof. One day, a branch from the mango tree above fell down into the hot pan, splashing oil all over me.
Over your whole body? Up your arms?
All over me. It was boiling oil, which just showered me all over. I passed out, and the locals took me to my house. I thought I was going to be covered in serious burns, but in the morning when I woke up, I felt nothing. I didn't have any burns. I came back to work the next day and tried to put my hand into one of the pans of oil.
And you were fine?
I didn't feel any pain.
So you woke up in the morning and there was no marks on your arms or your face, nothing?
No, there was nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Khan's story sounds like something out of a comic book. I find it hard to entirely believe what he claims. I noticed that once Khan dipped his hands into water. He says this is just to clean them, but perhaps this could be his trick? Is the water in some way protecting his hands from the boiling oil? I want to get some answers. So I'm taking Khan to a specialist skin clinic to see just how heat-proof his hands really are. Dr. Vorathep is an expert on skin.
Dr. Vorathep. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Have a seat.
I'm hoping he'll be able to help me pinpoint the secret to Khan's insane ability. Our skin is the body's first defense against heat and is composed of 3 layers. In a first-degree burn, the top layer, or epidermis, is injured. A second-degree burn destroys the epidermis, and the inner layer of skin known as the dermis is seriously damaged. And when someone suffers a third-degree burn, both the epidermis and the dermis are destroyed, and the damage reaches the underlying hypodermis layer. I want to know what degree burns a normal person would expect to suffer if they did what Khan does. I hope the doctor has some sort of explanation.
The degree of the burn depends on the temperature of the boiling oil, the time duration of the contact, and the places where he contacted.
I put my hands into oil at temperatures of up to a maximum of 300 degrees Celsius. That temperature is what I use to deep fry the chicken.
And so what would you expect to see? Would you expect to see first, second, third degree burns?
If the duration is quite long, or just a little time, we expect more than the 3rd degree burn.
Really?
Yes.
So if anyone else did what Khan does, the doctor says they'd suffer a 3rd degree burn. But Khan has nothing. I tell the doctor that when I saw Khan demonstrate at the market, I noticed he dipped his hands into what looked like water before placing them in the oil. Could this be a trick? He tells me there is a simple rule of physics known as the Leidenfrost effect. When water hits something really hot, The steam created acts as a barrier, preventing it from coming directly into contact with the hot surface. Could Khan be using this layer of water vapor to prevent his hand from direct contact with the oil? But the doctor explains that this would only work for a very short exposure, just fractions of a second. And Khan had the oil all over his arms for so long, he should definitely have suffered some serious burns. He wants to take a closer look at Khan's hands using a microscope.
Wow, okay.
This is about 400 times of the magnification.
Yeah.
The only thing we can see is he has the normal upper skin, but dry.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't see any damage of the burn at the moment.
So even through a microscope, there's no sign of any burn damage on Khan's skin. He moves on to examine his fingertips, which would have the most contact with the oil.
Because the fingertips would be one of the most sensitive parts of the body, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Does that look like a normal epidermis?
Yes, it looked like the normal epidermis.
The doctor seems as confused as I am by Khan's heat-proof hands.
Does there seem to be any damage?
No, but there are no hair on his arms. I think the effects with the hair follicles, but there's no sign of the burn at the moment.
And you would certainly expect to with 600 degree.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it seems to be normal.
Having seen Khan's blatant disregard for his own safety, I was certain we'd find some sort of physical abnormality. Even if he's dipping his hands in water first for some protection, there should still be burn damage on his skin. Maybe the real answer lies even deeper. As a biologist, I always try and find a scientific explanation for the extraordinary abilities of the people I meet. But Kantrakhan believes his skill is thanks to a greater power.
To be honest, I don't really know what started it, but I believe that God and spirits blessed me with a gift. I was a very poor man. I worked hard and didn't get any success. So I believe that maybe a god or spirits had faith in me and gave me this gift to continue living my life.
Khan wants to attempt to submerge his hands in scalding oil for longer than ever before. But first, I want to run more tests to try and reveal the secret to his heat-proof hands. One possible explanation is that Khan was born without the ability to sense pain. Congenital analgesia is a rare condition which inhibits the ability to feel physical pain. Researchers think this may be caused by a mutation in a gene called SCN9A. Overactivity in this gene prevents pain signals from getting to the brain, effectively numbing the body. Pain is our body's first line of defense. But while sufferers of congenital analgesia may sense touch, their lack of a sense of pain means they often injure themselves, and in some cases, this can prove fatal. Could Khan suffer from this inability to feel any pain? Skin expert Dr. Vodotep is going to use a series of tests to look for evidence of congenital analgesia. First, the doctor tests his sense of touch by applying light pressure to different parts of the body. Khan must react when he feels any contact. Khan is able to detect every single touch. And can pinpoint the exact location on his body. So the doctor tries a tougher test. He traces numbers onto Khan's hand to see if he can work it out purely from touch. He gets them all correct, proving he has a perfect sense of touch.
So the nerves seem okay to start with.
Seems to be all right.
Okay.
Now to test Khan's sensitivity to pain. The doctor alternates between the blunt and sharp end of a needle.
Wow, so it's actually quite sensitive. I'm not getting much pain.
Okay.
It's a subtle pain. The doctor says that if Khan has the immunity to pain necessary to withstand boiling oil, there's no way he'll tell the difference.
เจ็บไหมครับ
เจ็บนิดหน่อย
เจ็บไหมครับ
เจ็บครับ
เท่ากันเนาะ
เท่ากัน
But amazingly, he identified every needle prick.
เจ็บไหมครับ So from the pinprick test, he can feel the pain.
Okay, so that's a question I was going to ask. Is there pain or is it just a feeling?
No, he said he feel the pain.
Surprisingly, it seems Khan can feel pain, just like anyone else.
เจ็บไหมครับ
เจ็บครับ
เท่ากันเนาะ
เท่ากัน
So why doesn't he feel the heat of the scalding oil?
I think his skin is normal and he can feel all the sensation. Okay, so nothing seems to be happened with him at the moment.
Mystery?
Yeah, it's a mystery.
But I'm not ready to give up my search for a scientific explanation to Khan's heat-proof hands. I want the doctor to try and find out if it's only heat pain to which Khan is immune. Our sense of touch and temperature is controlled by a huge network of nerve endings and receptors in the skin, feeding back to our brain. While mechanoreceptors alert us to touch and pressure, it's the thermoreceptors that perceive sensations related to temperature. Cold receptors are usually only triggered by cold temperatures below 30 degrees Celsius, while our heat receptors are fired when exposed to temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius. Beyond 45 degrees, our pain receptors take over to avoid damage being done to the skin. So while Khan's sensitivity to touch and pain seems normal, it could be that his thermoreceptors aren't functioning as they should. Dr. Vodotep has referred us to specialist Thararat Munta. She's going to carry out a test to measure Khan's reaction time and pain threshold to both cold and hot temperatures.
ถ้ามันเริ่มร้อนก็
A small probe is fitted next to Khan's skin, capable of creating extreme cold or heat in just milliseconds. Khan has to click on the mouse as soon as he feels a change in temperature. First, we test his reaction to cold. And on 4 separate occasions, Khan is unable to detect cold until it becomes extreme. And the same in the heat test. He can't feel any heat until it becomes very hot.
He was quite slow at being able to feel the cold temperature before clicking the button.
Yes.
And on this one the same, like quite slow before he actually felt any temperature.
Yes.
If he's slow to react to a change in temperature, that would indicate an abnormality in the way his heat receptors are functioning. And now it's time to test his limits. But this time, I want to try it out for myself so I know what he should be feeling.
It's quite a weird sensation. So it's getting cold,
Yes.
and then when it gets painful,
Yes.
too much to take? Okay, right, I can feel it getting cold. Wow, it gets really cold. Oh, okay.
Well, that definitely got too much to take. Now for the heat. It's not long until I feel a burning and give in.
Whoa, that gets pretty hot. That's quite interesting.
How will Khan's pain threshold compare to mine? First, the probe drops below 0 degrees, and he doesn't even seem to notice. Now the machine is ramped up to its max of 50 degrees Celsius. Any hotter and it would start to burn the skin. But Khan doesn't seem to react at all.
Mr. Khan, did you feel any pain whatsoever when it went very cold or very hot?
It felt a little bit warm, but not hot, and just a little bit cold, but I didn't feel any pain.
Looking at the results side by side, it's clear to see the difference between myself and Khan. Where I had to opt out before the machine reached its minimum or maximum temperatures.
Whoa, that gets pretty hot.
For Khan, the machine maxed out without him feeling any pain. As he was slow to react to the change in the first place, it seems his heat receptors do work differently. Being unaffected by extreme temperatures means he can withstand what anyone else would find seriously painful.
So I've just come out of the med centre and it was very interesting. We got a few answers to do with his nervous system. He just doesn't feel heat like I did, for example. However, that does not explain, and the doctor was just as baffled, why his skin still doesn't blister, which should happen at the temperatures that he works at.
But I want to know, how far can he take his skill? Kantrakhan has already proved he can withstand temperatures that would cause severe burns to most normal people.
So I'm back at Mr. Khan's chicken cooking stall, and we've got some boiling water on the go, and we've got some oil which is going to be cooking the chicken later on, and I want to definitively test what temperatures he can get up to.
Khan says he can put his hands in oil at over 300 degrees Celsius. To put his claims to the test, I've come armed with two devices: a laser gun thermometer and a temperature probe. First, Khan's going to warm up by plunging into boiling water. To prove that it really is pure water, it should boil at 100 degrees Celsius.
So we're up at 76, cranking all the way up.
Exposure to water at this temperature could cause second-degree burns in under half a second.
Whoa, my finger's really hot here. So it's actually got too hot for my hand to even be near it. Khan's taken over, and we're just coming up now.
When it reaches 100 degrees, Khan says he's ready to dip his hands straight in.
Khan? Wow, okay, so even once it's dripping off his hands, pretty hot.
He doesn't seem to be even slightly affected.
So that's 100 degrees, no problem.
Now to see how hot the oil gets.
It's over 190, in fact it's just short of 200 degrees. This is just crazy.
When the oil reaches boiling point and starts to bubble, it's at nearly 300 degrees. Just a small splash at these temperatures is enough to give anyone a third-degree burn in a second. And yet Khan plunges his hands straight in.
The chicken's just about to go in. Whoa!
But so far, I've only seen him put his hands in the oil for short durations. Now I want to push him even further.
Oh, I'm actually having to stand back, genuinely. The heat is incredible. Chicken's in, yeah.
I'm going to challenge him to pick out as many pieces of chicken as possible. Meaning his hands will be in and out of the boiling oil for as long as it takes to empty the pan. Khan says there are 27 pieces in total, and they take just seconds to start cooking.
Whoa. I could just about get my hand to within a foot. This challenge is what I've come here to see.
And with the chicken ready, it's time for Khan to get his hands stuck in.
Okay, go. Wow, you can hear it. Whoa!
That's 5 pieces down, just 22 to go.
Woo-hoo! I'm actually going to stand back a bit because it's spitting so much. In fact, I just caught some on my arm and it's incredibly hot.
The fat's going everywhere, including up Khan's hands and arms, but he's still going.
The last bits are right in the bottom. Oh! I'm actually getting the fat spitting so much it's coming up my arm, and I'm stood a metre away. Last few bits to go. Whoa! Whoa! No wonder they call him Iron Hands.
With just one more piece remaining,
I'm not doing it.
Khan completes his challenge.
Flying chicken. Right. 1 minute and 1 second. And I'm going to count the bits of chicken up. So, 1. Whoa, they're still hot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He was throwing them out so quickly, actually, a couple went on the floor, but 14, 15, 16, 17. There's a whole chicken there. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. They are hot. 25, 26. 27 in 1 minute and 1 second. His record previously was about 20 pieces, so we weren't timing it exclusively, but I think that's a new world record. Khan, that was absolutely incredible. I just need to double check. Fine? No problem? That was absolutely unbelievable.
Khan managed to put his hands in and out of boiling oil for over a minute.
Whoa! No wonder they call him Iron Hands.
Breaking his previous record. And the weirdest thing is, he doesn't have a single mark to show for it.
Wow, you can hear it. Whoa!
That certainly makes him an extraordinary human in my eyes. Woo! On this leg of my journey, Thailand has not disappointed, providing me with some of the weirdest sights. Ruan Ting seriously impressed me with his cobra-like spitting.
Wow, I've seen some things in my time, but this is something else.
He's taken an accidentally discovered skill and trained it to his advantage.
Let me tell you, you don't get used to seeing that.
Challenging what we thought to be true about human eyes.
Wow, 50 seconds. That is a new record.
And while our tests couldn't explain why Kantrakhan's skin didn't burn, I discovered he has a unique pain tolerance, making him immune to extreme heat.
Wow. Okay, so even once it's dripping off his hands, pretty hot.
Living up to his reputation of having iron hands.
Whoa, that was so intense.
Join me next time on my search to find more extraordinary humans.